Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question. Yes or no?
I have admitted this is a terrible.
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was this a colossal failure? Yes or no?
So the Secret Service director went in front of Congress today to testify about what happened to Trump. And look, I'm not here to spread conspiracy theories, but the sheer fact of the matter is this. What happened 2 Saturdays ago in Butler, Pennsylvania was truly mind-blowing. There is no way that shooter should have been allowed to get on that roof. It is a huge security failure. And yes, many questions need to be asked there. But on top of that, why has Kim Cheatle, the Secret Service director, still not resigned? That should be common sense. Regardless if they were appointed by a Republican or Democrat, there was an assassination attempt against Republican or Democrat. If you are the head of Secret Service and an assassination attempt happens under your watch, that should be immediately disqualifying. And yet she's still here and nobody can explain why she hasn't resigned or been fired. So that said, folks, if you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and check this out. She was pretty ferociously attacked by both Republicans and Democrats in Congress. And even some Democrat congressmen were pressing Kim Cheatle saying, look, why are you still here? How did you allow this to happen? Why have you not resigned? Check this out. California Democrat Congressman Ro Khanna equally went in on Kim. And so we will react to that first. And then we will play the Nancy Mace grilling of Kim Cheatle, which is arguably worse. But let's start here. So again, this is a Democrat congressman. This is someone I probably disagree with on every major political issue, but he makes some pretty strong points here as to why exactly she is still the head of Secret Service. Take a listen.
You know, do you know what Stuart Knight did when he was in charge at the time of the Secret Service? Do you know what he did afterwards?
He remained on duty.
He resigned. He resigned. And Stuart Knight was not a Democratic appointee or a Republican appointee. Look, I'm not questioning your judgment. I just don't think this is partisan. If you have an assassination attempt on a president, a former president, or a candidate, you need to resign. That's what Stuart Knight did.
Yeah.
He was a Republican appointee, and he took responsibility. And I think you need to reflect. This is not a question of you. It's a question of the American people. You cannot go leading a Secret Service agency when there is an assassination attempt on a presidential candidate. I would say that about anyone who is running. And so I guess my question to you is, what's the difference between your position and what Stuart Knight did?
I would argue the difference is actually that her security failure was worse because it's the 21st century, right? And look how easily the whole thing happened. Everyone knows the story. I don't have to repeat it. But she has the past examples of what happened to JFK, of what happened to Reagan. And arguably, the assassination attempt here was less complex or easier to predict than arguably the two of those. So that's the difference. Hers is worse, and she is not resigning, which again, not here to spread the conspiracies, but really has to make you question what is going on here and why hasn't Biden or whoever is running the country made her resign, fired her? I don't know.
What I will tell you, sir, is that I am dedicated to finding the answers to what happened. And like every Secret Service agent, we don't shirk from our responsibilities. I will remain on.
But you did. You did on 2 Saturdays ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. So that's not even true.
And be responsible to the agency, to this committee, to the former president, and to the American public.
But is there a reason you wouldn't just do what Stuart Knight did after the Reagan assassination attempt?
I believe that I provided an answer.
There's nothing more that you have to say? I mean, do you really believe at this moment, given how divided the country is and the questions asked, that your service in this role is the best for the nation? I mean, I'm not saying you can't do public service again, you can't do something else again. Do you really genuinely in your heart believe that you being in this role is what's right for America at this moment?
Well, the answer there is she would rather girl boss. She would rather celebrate, look, I'm a female Secret Service leader. Isn't this such powerful feminism? Than actually protect our elected officials like Secret Service is supposed to do. She would rather allow through either her incompetence or her malice, and you can speculate on which one it is. She'd rather allow this stuff and be able to celebrate, oh, look, I'm a strong female in power, than actually do the right thing for the country. Anyways, there was, again, a Democrat making very good points in this regard. Why is she the head of Secret Service? It should be a bipartisan agreement. You failed, and you failed catastrophically, okay? You know, that's common sense. If you lead Secret Service, the one thing, basically your entire job, essentially, is to make sure that presidents are not assassinated. You failed, okay? The only reason he's still alive is because, you know, the divine intervention, really. But anyways, here was Nancy Mace, now a Republican congresswoman, exposing the cover-up that is going on here. And again, I don't say that to spread conspiracies. I mean, literally, the Secret Service has not been transparent, and they're not even able to give some of this information to Congress. So check out what she had to say. It's a pretty heated exchange.
Answers. Most of my questions are going to demand a yes or no answer. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, my first question. Both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter, yes or no?
No, thank you.
Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question, yes or no?
I have admitted this is a terrible...
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was this a colossal failure, yes or no?
Obviously, okay? A president almost getting assassinated, yes. If you're the head of Secret Service, that's a colossal failure. But I don't want to admit that because it would question my leadership as a feminist icon. I don't know.
Yes.
Like,
was this tragedy preventable, yes or no?
Yes.
Has the Secret Service been transparent with this committee?
no.
Yes.
Would you say the fact that we had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today as being transparent, yes or no?
I have always been
Yes or no? You didn't want to answer the question.
Committee.
We had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today. That is not transparent, by the way. You stated earlier, Secret Service is not political. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political, yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
So, okay, whether or not she leaked it or someone else leaked her statement to the press, isn't it called Secret Service? Like, isn't it supposed to be secretive? Like, you have people within the Secret Service who are leaking things to the media, whether it's her or someone else. That's another leadership failure, in my opinion. Okay? And arguably, I get it, it's just a statement. But if you have moles within your own agency who are leaking things to the press, that is also a security issue, right? Because what if you're leaking something like plans or whatever? How do you know that if you have this open of a ship, you don't have people leaking the security plans to would-be assassins, foreign nations? What is going on here, folks? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record articles by Punchbowl News, Political Playbook, Washington Post, all done at 5:24 a.m., 6:12 a.m., 6:34 a.m., a solid 3 to 4 hours before this committee got your statement.
Without objection, so ordered.
Okay. Is the Secret Service fully cooperating with our committee?
Yes.
Okay, you say you're fully cooperating with this committee. On July 15th, this committee sent you a list of demands of information that we wanted. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th, yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of shit today. You're just being completely dishonest. Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman, I want to...
Come on.
We have to maintain decorum in this committee, no matter how upset we get.
Have you provided any and all memos to this committee that we've asked you on July 15th? Have you provided all memorandums within the Secret Service?
I would have to get back to you on
that. That is a no. You are being dishonest or lying. Like, you're being dishonest here with this committee. These are important questions that the American people want answers to, and you're just dodging and talking around it in generalities. And we had to subpoena you to be here, and you won't even answer the questions. We have asked you repeatedly to answer our questions. This isn't hard. These are not hard questions. Have you provided us all communications from the Secret Service related to that day and that rally? Have you provided this committee? We've asked for this information on July 15th. Have you provided any of this information that this committee has asked of the Secret Service? Any of it?
I'll have to get back to you.
Have you even read this letter that we sent you? Did you even read this?
Yes.
Okay. And you have said you don't know, you have no idea. Well, the answer is no. We haven't gotten a single document or piece of information or data from you or your agency in related to the rally that we have asked you for.
Yeah, so at best, she's brutally incompetent and disorganized. At best. Like, that's the best case scenario explanation, which is bad in any job, but your job is to protect the president. The president just got shot, and even in response, you're not like, okay, I better get my act together. What is going on here? Okay, and you know, Biden wants to talk about how I condemn the assassination, I condemn political violence, you know, I'm finally Trump, all this stuff. I don't think you mean that unless you force the resignation of this leader of Secret Service. Okay, I get it that it's a running pattern in the Biden administration to reward incompetence because he did not fire anyone. He didn't fire the people who were on Afghanistan and, you know, planning the withdrawal there. He will not even fire the very advisors who ran his campaign into the ground and ultimately, as we saw just yesterday, ended his campaign. But in this case, okay, it's bigger than his own incompetence, right? The lives of not just our political leaders, but also regular Americans are at stake, and Biden refuses to act, which has to make you question why. Why is that the case? Why is that the case? Because if it were all, again, I'm just asking questions here. If it were simply the case that she's very incompetent and disorganized and doesn't know what she's doing, shouldn't Biden also be concerned about that, right? Shouldn't he? You would think so. You would think so, but he's not. He's not concerned that, hey, this obviously incompetent Secret Service director, that might endanger my own life too. So again, I'm not spreading conspiracies. I'm just saying these are questions I think everyone should ask themselves.
So, was this attempted assassination of Donald Trump a failure of training or execution or both?
I think that those are answers that we need to
training, execution, or both. Which one?
I think those are answers.
All right. How many Secret Service personnel have lost their jobs due to this colossal failure?
At this time, none.
I don't know what's going on in this country, guys. I just don't know.
How many Secret Service personnel have been required to take a refresher course on how not to let people shoot Donald Trump?
Our personnel are currently operational. We are examining the facts of this investigation, and we will make the changes necessary.
What time did law enforcement become aware that there was an individual on the roof with a clear line of sight to President Trump?
I am still verifying timelines.
Of course, 9 days in, you have no answers. How many minutes went by between the time law enforcement saw and took photos of crooks and the shooting? How many minutes?
I am still verifying timelines.
57 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
Yeah, so there you have it, folks. The obviously unfit leader of Secret Service refuses to resign. She does not have the answers to very basic questions. I don't know if we're ever going to get the truth or accountability for what happened. You know, honestly, because you see how the Secret Service is behaving, at least the leadership of the Secret Service. They're not very forthcoming exactly, and they're clearly protecting their own failure here. And then the FBI is going to be the institution that independently investigates it all. Well, good luck with that. Years later, we still don't know what happened with the JFK assassinations. I don't know, folks. Pray for the safety of our president, because clearly the people in charge are not willing to defend Trump's life, or at the very least, at best, they don't know what they're doing, okay? And it's a sad situation in our country. But that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on this hearing in the comment section down below. Do you think Kim Cheatle should be forced to resign? Let me know. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And until next time, God bless and peace.